up? Today I'm going to go ahead and change my clutch and my basket on my 2005 Yamaha Banshee. As you've seen in my previous video, I bought her from Driveline Performance. I talked to a gentleman named Wayne. He was very helpful, and I do recommend you guys using the company. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and take off my Nerf bars first, then my brake lever, and then my Kickstarter. Then we're going to take the cover off and empty the fluids. Alright guys, so I got my Kickstarter off, my Nerf bar off, my brake pedal off, so I'm all ready to take all the fluid out and then start taking this cover off. Alright, this is very simple. To get the brake lever off, there's a clip here you have to take off. You can use a flathead screwdriver, just wiggle it off, slide the clip off. It's a little circle, it looks like this. You wiggle this off, you take your washer off, you slide it off. There's also a pin that goes through here. It has a little cotter pin through it. All you gotta do is straighten out the cotter pin, push it out, take the washer off that's in the front and slide this pin right out the back. Fold this down and then you can slide it right off. The kickstart is really easy. It's just got a 12mm bolt that goes through the top right here. Loosen it up. Once it loosens, you just wiggle it off, it slides right off. Now we're going to proceed by taking the antifreeze line off and letting it all drain out. Just a quick tip when you take the coolant line off. You should really take the radiator cap off. That will let the air flow through here and it'll release all the antifreeze out. So underneath the Banshee there's a 17mm bolt, goes through the bottom, and that's what lets out all your transmission fluid. So I'll go ahead and did that. Now I'm all ready to take the cover off. Alright, so I got all my bolts taken off. I'm going to go ahead and pull off the cover. Take that away. So I got the clutch cover off, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the bolts. So I got my clutch basket off. We're going to end up reusing this. We're going to grind these rivets off in the back, bolt this gear back onto our new basket, and reinstall it. So I got my clutch basket here. There's rivets here we have to take out. I'm going to go ahead and grind them. Some people drill them out. Well, I'm going to go ahead and grind them. I put duct tape all around the gears, so if I do touch it, at least I know I'm hitting them. and it's well protected if I do hit it. Alright guys, so I got the gear off the old basket. Now I got the new basket here, the new plate here, the new cushions, bolts. Here's the old gear. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clean this off because I'm sure it has metal files all over it. I'm gonna clean it off with some brake clean. Once it's ready, I'm gonna put it back on. Nice and tight. Alright guys, so I got all my cushions in. Now the plate, you can see it's beveled here. That's because the bolt goes through in here. Alright. Put the plate on. Line it up. Now we're going to use red Loctite on this nut, on this bolt, so it never comes loose. So the Allen key for this bolt is a 3/16. Alright, so I'm going to put a little bit of red Loctite on this. So it's all tight. Double checked it with the ratchet. So that's about it. It's right Loctite, so it'll never come loose once the Loctite dries. And if you ever have to get the bolts back out, worst comes to worst, if the Allens do strip out when you try to get them back out, you grind them back down and take it apart just like we just did the OEM basket. So I'm switching over my cookie disc from 36 that I just used on my basket to grind off the welds to a softer pad. It's a medium cookie. that you could buy right at Napa. You could buy both of these at Napa if you guys need to go get them. I'm going to use this cookie now to clean the surface over here because my old gasket is all stuck on here. So I'm just going to quickly clean it off. And we should be good to put the new gasket on and put it back on the Banshee. Now before I get grinding, make sure you guys put a towel down in where the water pump goes because you don't want all the debris going in down there. So now your surface is all clean on your clutch cover. I'm going to take my rags back out of here. Take my rag out of this hole where the water pump is. I'm going to clean this out real fast with a little bit of brake clean, but not too much, because there's debris all in here now. It's squeaky clean in there now, so we could go ahead and put our gasket back on, put our clutch basket back on, and proceed to put the clutch back in. So I got my clutch basket here all tightened back up. I got my new clutches soaking in my oil. So before I put it on, I'm going to put some oil in here so it's all lubed up. Slide on here. Now you have your sleeve here, and then you have a washer behind it. So just make sure that's all there. Slide it on. Now it's still not fully engaged. See? It clicked. Sorry. Okay. Now you have your inner hub and a washer. So I got the clutch basket on, the lock washer on, and the inner hub. So I'll put my 1 1/4 nut back on this. Now this bolt gets tight until like 70 foot-pounds, 65, 70 foot-pounds. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Feels like nice and tight though. So I got it pretty much flat where the lock washer goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold it over. You don't want to over tighten this at all. You'll pretty much see where it wants to stop because it won't go too much more. Beautiful work. Can you see in there? So guys, I have this folded down, nice and flat, spins nice and free, nice and tight. So I'm gonna go ahead and install my clutch. So we're gonna start with a disc, clutch disc. my clutch is installed. So you first start off with a clutch disc in the back, and then a metal clutch disc in the back, then a metal one. So make sure the metal one goes between every clutch disc, and then you're going to end with a clutch disc also. Now there's an arrow on your plate right here. You want to try to line it up with the little dots on your inner hub. So it's snapped right in there, nice and easy. Time to install your new springs. Here. Alright, so I went over here. I set my screw in all the way. Look. There's like nothing. There's nothing here. So I adjusted my clutch up top with the center bolt, loose and lock nut. What you want to do is, if it has too much slack on the top, you want to pretty much screw this in. Screw the center bolt in until it feels not tight. You still want to move it a little bit, but you'll feel it tighten up a little bit, and right around there, you should go up top and feel a clutch. It should have just a little slack very up top, but not like crazy, and then you lock it up. So now that all my spring bolts are tight and my clutch is together, I adjusted my pancake nut that adjusts the clutch lever and the clutch adjustment. I use blue Loctite on it so it won't come loose and I won't have any problems with that. You want to use blue just in case you need to get it back off. You have no issues. I used red on the gear to the basket, and then I used blue on the nut here because I might have, if I ever have to adjust it or I have to take the clutch back off one day, I want to be able to loosen this nut up. Red is going to be a pain in the butt to get loose. Blue is a lot easier. I just want to show you something. So I adjusted this. My clutch is nice. I do want to show you. When you adjust that screw, right? Let me skip over around here real fast. There's where your clutch lever is, and there's a line right there. When you squeeze this together, those two should meet directly together. Alright, so it should be really close. So that's how you know your clutch is adjusted fully and it's where it needs to be. Alright. So I like spraying, it's called spray a gasket sealant. You get it right out of Napa. I like spraying it right on the gasket. It helps it from staying and not moving around. It also helps to seal it just a hair. Just want to spray it on there. That's about it. I'll spray both sides. Brand new gasket. Just want to take a look, make sure my gasket looks like it's in the right place. The longer bolt, there is a longer bolt out of all these phillips, and it does go right here. Just gonna get them all started, and then I'll snug them all up. Getting real cold out now, guys. See, I'm not really forcing these in here, so I know the gaskets lined up perfectly. They're going right in. Now that I got them all in there, I like going crisscross when I do ones like this. And then I'll go around them real quick just to check. This one's good. Good. Now that we have the clutch cover back on, we're going to route your breather tube back to where you took it off from. If your Banshee has one or you didn't take it off already. My cover's back on. I'll put my coolant line back here. So guys, not saying you're going to have a leak or anything, but before you put this whole thing back together, you know, put your 1.5 quarts of the fluid you're going to actually use in. I'm using the Racing 4T by Mobil 1. So I'll put 1.5 quarts in there. Make sure it's not leaking out. Alright, you know, it shouldn't leak out, but if it does, you want to catch it now. Now how you check this fluid, you just dip it in there like this. Don't screw it on. And it should be right at the full mark right at the bottom. Yep. After you let it run a little bit, I would check it out. Make sure it looks good. Because all the oil's going to go where it needs to be. Put the kickstart back on. Oh, here you go. Now this is tight with the 12mm. Time to put the brake lever on. Got your pin. Goes like that. Your little washer. Tiny cotter pin. Washer. Secret. And you guys got your little brake switch back here. If you guys still have a brake light for the rear. There we go. So I'm all done. I'm going to fill my Banshee up with antifreeze. I'm going to go let it run outside for a little bit, get nice and warmed up. Let the oil recirculate through the clutches, and then I'll go take it for a ride. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Subscribe.